third time's the charm for DC. Kinda. This one's a little confusing. It's the third movie from DC this year, but it's the first movie from DC in James Gunn's new DCU universe, which is not part of the DCEU Snyder universe. I think I got that. So let's dive in straight into Zolo's character, I think I'm saying that right, which is Blue Beetle. Let's just say Blue Beetle. And to be honest, seriously, he's come a long way from Cobra Kai. His acting's got a lot better. The way he carries himself is a lot better. So hats off to him. He's done quite well in his journey. Then you got the lead actress. Her name's Bruna something. She plays Jenny, and yeah, she's forgettable. She is just there, like the whole way through. And yeah, she serves some purpose to the story, but nothing memorable. Like, you're not gonna remember any scenes of her. Overall, the family dynamics was quite nice, but you gotta give it to the legends. George Lopez, I mean, that guy's still got his comedic timing. Even if most of the comedy in the movie was kind of forced, he knows how to deliver. And you gotta talk about the OG, Nana. Nana is, yeah, Nana, that's it. So you can say Nana. You'll see what I mean when you see it. The family was probably the most interesting part. Watching the dynamics, the culture, that was probably the best part of the movie, to be honest. Probably not the best thing for a superhero movie when the superhero isn't really the most memorable part about it. It was hard to be intimidated by Susan Sarandon's villain. I kept seeing Stepmom and all the other kind of movies in my head. At the same time, there was no villainous aura coming from her. It was more like you were getting told off by your grandma. There was nothing there that felt insidious, felt threatening, especially not a big bad villain. You couldn't see it in her, no matter how hard you tried. She's a great actress, it's just not the role for her. Khaji-Da, the AI thing, felt flat. It felt like cold. It didn't feel like some self-aware being. It didn't feel like it had any personality at all. It felt like it just existed. Maybe we're a little bit spoilt seeing Tony Stark and Jarvis, and seeing Eddie Brock and Venom, and seeing the dynamic that they had, the constant back and forward. So we have to talk about the Beetle. I didn't see anything that amazing, anything that even stood out a lot. It seemed like an Iron Man suit. They're not meant to be anything alike. One is something designed through technology. It's very, limited by what we have. And then you've got this superpower that's meant to be from far, far away, like alien technology, and it's meant to be superpowered, overpowered. It didn't feel like that. It felt like this was something that Iron Man could spin up. Normally, the issue is outside the mask. Inside the mask, most people nail it. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, whatever. Outside the mask is when they start to crumble a little. This movie does really well outside the mask. Inside the mask, it's not that great, but it's good. Now the story, well, it's a tale as old as time. Probably could match fairy tales at this point. It's been done so often. A big corporation that is searching for alien tech ends up finding it. Somehow someone gets a hold of it. So the movie is spent using schemes and all different ways to try to get that tech back. Pretty much the plot of the movie. The CGI was quite good. It was quite polished. Everything looked crisp. There's very few things that you could look out for and say that looked out of place. The CGI was done well. It was quite impressive. Should you see this movie? It's a family movie. It's not meant to be something so deep. Like most superhero movies, the stories are quite simple and some of the characters are quite flawed. But overall, it's entertaining. You'll enjoy it with your family. Whether you want to go watch it in cinemas or not, I'll let you decide that yourself. Comedy, I'd say medium. A lot of George Lopez's stuff is quite great, but the movie's funny accidentally. A lot of the time it's funny more when it's not trying to be funny. When it's trying to be funny, it kind of falls a little flat. Action, I'd say there's a medium level of action. Nothing too overkill. It's not too low, not too high, just in between. Nudity, low. There are some nude scenes, but it's more related to his power, and there's nothing obviously there, but you can tell he is naked. Language, low. There are some swear words here and there, but nothing too harsh on the ears. Romance, there is love interest, there is that tension there, but nothing overly out there either. There is a kiss, pretty much it. There's a low level of political aspect to this movie. They do address a lot of the injustices to new immigrants, also poverty, stuff like that. Horror, surprisingly, there is a low level of horror to it. I don't know, the transformation, I could see some young guys getting a bit affected by it a little. It's a little vivid. So yeah, I'd say low levels of horror. If your kids are sensitive to that, you might want to cover their eyes at least. Drama, low level of drama, it is there. Nothing too heavy, but it is there. Realism, this is a superhero movie, so there is a medium level of fantasy in there. There's a lot of things that are not very realistic, which is expected from a superhero movie.